3, 2, 1, go.
Welcome, Nurse fans, to the latest S&M production of the Sunday Night Sports Nerd Show. It is the most absurd 90 minutes of anything goes, smack talk, and a whole lot more. Every Sunday night, the Sports Nerd joins Sports News with his maniac co-host, whom are a select group of sports nerds with attitude that are known in Nerd Nation as the Rampacks. These are four of the most foul-mouthed, shit-talking nerds, spitting some scripts and rants just enough to make you piss your pants. So listen up, Nerd Nation. Rise and welcome the legend himself. He is the founder, he is the host, and he is the star of the Sports Nerd Show. Coming to you live, straight out of Lakeland, Florida, Scott, the Sports Nerd.
What's up, everybody? I don't have my script for opening, guys. I forgot. It got destroyed. Anyway, welcome to the Sports Nerds, another edition. We are here to talk smack talk, football talk, NFL, MLB, NHL. Well, tonight is going to be basically just NFL and MLB, but that's okay. Right. And as always, with the exception of one, I am joined by my co-hosts, Elliot Big E Lamba and Ken Koslow. John Olsen is having internet issues in Canada. It's that Canadian internet. You never know what's going to happen with it. But he may pop in later via mobile, but right now he's having issues and can't join us.
It's a Canadian thing. We wouldn't understand.
Correct. Tonight's show is going to be fully loaded with NFL talk, including fantasy football specifically, because Elliot's got a lot he wants to bring tonight. What's up, Brett?
No, you know what? At the same time, I want people to just fire away at me to answer any questions they might have about their fantasy stuff.
Yeah, I got you.
You know, I'm here to help in any way I can.
Here to help in any way you can.
Yeah.
Okay. Whatever that may be.
That sounds like a loaded statement right there.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing, Ken.
Fire away.
Yeah, so we're gonna talk a lot of NFL. There's a lot of NFL news, of course, because the season's only 2 weeks away. A lot of things are happening that can affect your fantasy team as well as what's going on.
The season's 11 days away.
Yeah, 11 days away. Excuse me, I forgot. Yeah, it's Thursday night to start with the Cowboys and the Buccaneers. Yes,
watch the Cowboys get destroyed.
Yeah, Ken's not looking forward to
Hey, what happened to that Hurricane Jaguar that came rolling through Texas today?
God, he scored. He threw for 2 touchdowns, didn't he? You got beat by the Jaguars, Ken.
They made Trevor Lawrence look like the number 1 pick he is.
I didn't see the game, so I only saw the score. But
yeah, I did see that Trevor Lawrence did throw for 2 touchdowns today, by the way.
He looked really good against the Cowboys.
Well, it's the Cowboys, so what are you going to do?
I care as much about preseason games as
exactly. I could give 2 shits about preseason.
Look, Brett's trying to be executive producer of the show. He wants us to start with Minshew, but we're not going to start with Minshew. Sorry, not going to happen.
Minshew's not that high up on the priority.
No, Minshew is not that high up on the list.
On the food chain, he's one of the ladder links.
Yeah, he's one of the latter stories we're going to talk about. We are going to start with the biggest news, which happened actually yesterday. JK Dobbins, the Baltimore Ravens, tore his ACL. He's possibly got LCL issues. He's possibly got MCL issues as well. That is huge, not just for the Ravens, but fantasy as well.
That's immense.
He was going to be one of those guys that you were going to have on, he was going to be a high draft pick. And
he was going to be a 3rd or 4th round pick.
Yeah.
So at least 4th round, maybe, because he was going to be the starting or the lead back for the Ravens.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like Gus Edwards is that man now.
Yeah. Yeah. So the Ravens got hit hard with that.
Although.
Yeah, but their leading rusher isn't Dobbins. It's
there is a story brewing that it's possible that the Ravens can sign Todd Gurley.
Why?
Gurley had a good season with Atlanta last year. Under the radar, of course, because nobody's really paying attention.
Yeah,
but he had a decent season.
Yeah, Brett says he's glad we haven't drafted yet. Well, Brett, this is why we draft the week before the season starts. This is why we do this.
And I put that up for the Travis Etienne posts too.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying?
Another one who's
we don't draft until the Sunday before the season starts, because that way we know that all players going into the opening of the season on your roster are going to play.
Yes.
Okay. Far be it for me to ask people to draft early. Like, I see people drafting like in June, July. I'm like, what happens when one of your first rounders gets injured and done for the season? You just wasted that draft pick.
The only reason you draft in June or July is for keeper leagues. And that's about the only reason.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's right. That's crazy.
You see, and Ken, next week, you're going to stay on the screen because you know what you're talking about. When you might not like playing fantasy anymore, but it sounds to me like you know a little bit with the verbiage you're using.
Oh, he knows. Yeah, he knows. Because he's played before.
Well, there you go. Then you can provide valuable input to those that are going to lose. Anyway, JK Dobbins is a big loss. But here's the thing. When it comes to the Baltimore Ravens, running back in fantasy, running back is not the biggest position to draft in when it comes to the Ravens running back.
No, it's Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, it's because Lamar Jackson runs a lot.
And he's going to be he'd probably end up being their leading rusher anyway. So, I mean, it's just the way it is.
I'm just saying, Gus Edwards,
last year,
he averages over 5 yards a carry, which is solid for any team. Would love to have a starting running back that, you know, pitches in 5 yards a carry on average.
Right.
Okay. Thing is that he'll lose a lot of goal line touches or red zone touches because of Lamar Jackson.
Right.
So that's what would probably push his value down just slightly, maybe into a 5th round or 6th round pick. Because again, he has been with the Ravens for a while, and he now is given the opportunity to be the number one guy.
Yeah. Well, you know what? As much as I hate seeing him get hurt, it helps the Browns out so that, you know, we can focus on more.
Well, it was a remain to be seen situation because Dobbins didn't have a breakout year last year.
No, I mean, he was a rookie last year, but and then you know what? He's got a soft spot in my heart because he is a Buckeye. Okay, just number one.
That's fine.
You know, this way, you know, again, when the Browns face the Ravens, they can focus more on Lamar than they have to worry about their running game. And we're not worried about his passing game. We're worried about him breaking into the open field. So my heart goes out to JK because he's a good kid. But again, another example why we draft the week before. Next on the list, Josh Rosen is the human ping pong ball of the NFL. He is now.
You know what? I disagree with that.
Really?
I would say he's the NFL version of a hot potato.
Okay. You take him. No, I'll take him. You take him. Then I'll take him. Anyway, he gets traded or he signs with Philadelphia. Is that right? No. He didn't play. No, it was Atlanta. Atlanta because McCarron
because they see him as a successor to Matt Ryan.
He'd have been better off staying in Tampa under Brady, but that's just me.
Josh Rosen.
So he goes from Miami. He goes from Arizona to Miami to Tampa to San Francisco, and now he's in Atlanta. So that's, you know, his 5th team in 5 years. So,
but he's only started when
he was in Arizona.
Exactly. That's it.
Yeah.
Next week he's getting traded to the Rolling Stones.
Right. He's gonna be their new drummer
on their tour.
Yeah, Rosen is. I think he qualifies for the big bust word when it comes to.
Well, you know what? Not necessarily. You got to give the guy credit because I feel bad for him because he never really had a chance. He's never been really given an opportunity. Yeah. Not really. Arizona wasn't meant for him. I mean, this is pre what's his face.
Well, that's because Arizona wasn't sold on Josh Rosen. He was just
he was number 2 overall, number 3 overall from Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's why they went out and got Kyler Murray the next season.
Well, after the first season,
they were so confident in Josh Rosen, they went ahead and drafted Kyler Murray next season.
So I mean, you know, you got to think after all the back and forth he's experienced, his the space
He's
between
just
his
not-
ears.
He's just not NFL ready, dude. That's all it is. He has to find, there has to be that one coach out there that can reach his place in his mind and in his heart. Okay?
Chucky,
Somebody,
Chucky.
anybody that can do that.
the quarterback whisperer in Las
Yeah.
Vegas.
I
If
remember
anybody
when
can do that, it would be immensely, a good thing for Josh Rosen. But he hasn't found his
Josh
niche.
Rosen got to UCLA. He got to UCLA the same year that what's his name got to SC. The Jets quarterback that went
Yeah.
to Carolina.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I know you're
Darnold.
Yeah,
Sam
Sam Darnold. And Rosen was they were both pretty much on a level keel when they were the freshmen in college. Rosen kind of had a wild collegiate career. He was hot and cold, and I mean, I saw him 440 on somebody. I can't remember who it was, and I was hoping he would have a good, better than decent NFL career, but I'm not sure it's ever worked out for him, and I wish him the best of luck in Atlanta. I'm not sure how much game
Well,
time
and
he's
he
gonna
had the
be
problem
getting,
of going to teams that had better talent above him as well.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
So I mean, he had to deal. He was under Fitzgerald,
Right.
under Fitz in Miami, Tom Brady in Tampa,
Mhm.
And Garoppolo in San Francisco, and now with
Matt Ryan in Atlanta.
Matt Ryan in Atlanta. Okay, so I mean, I feel
Look,
bad for the kid because he's been in bad situations to see if he could do what he could.
He had his chance with Arizona in season 1, and it didn't work out.
Well, Arizona was a bad team.
It wasn't for him, because Kyler Murray's taken that same team and with some additions has made it, competitive.
Agreed.
Josh Rosen just wasn't ready for that spotlight.
Okay.
He wasn't.
All right. And Brett posted this this week. I think it was Brett. The possibility of Deshaun Watson actually being traded from Houston.
Yeah, I've been seeing that too.
Miami has been a place. Philadelphia has also been mentioned, although now it's probably not so much because they got Minshew.
Yeah, but do you think that they would have traded Jalen Hurts for Deshaun Watson?
Well, the problem is Houston's asking for 3 number ones for him right now.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's a lot for someone who may end up going to jail.
Yeah.
So,
you know what? Somehow or another, I don't buy that he's going to wind up being in jail. He might be suspended for a while, and that, and have to go through league, protocols to put himself back in good graces or whatever.
Right.
But I just don't. I mean, come on.
I saw the Texans play last week. I did not see Deshaun Watson on the sideline, so I don't know.
When it comes to football players, there's a lot of people that believe that there's a murderer still walking the streets from the whole Simpson thing. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And to this day, it's still out there. People still believe that OJ did it and got away.
Well, and on a much lesser note, my opinion of Ray Lewis. I have the same feelings about Ray Lewis. So,
yeah. But again, these are high-profile athletes that have a way of the system working for them, as opposed to your, regular Joe, so to speak.
Yeah. Yeah. Next up.
But wait a second. If he goes to Miami, do they give up Tua?
That's what they're probably going to want.
Because that's what they're going to want. They're going to want.
They want 3 number 1 picks plus your starter for
and
Deshaun
2 second-round picks too.
Yeah. Yeah. The price is just too high at this point with so much uncertainty surrounding him right now. It's not going to happen. I don't foresee him starting the season for Houston either.
No.
Do you?
I foresee him, and that's probably why they're trying to trade him, because they don't foresee him starting with Houston ever again, to be honest with you. So why not trade him now if you can? Why not trade him now? You know what I'm saying? Before it's too late to get anything for him.
Right. Who knows? I don't foresee him playing anytime soon. I don't
either.
Even on the draft boards, he's dropped considerably.
Well, I'm not going to draft him. I wouldn't think of him. I wouldn't even consider drafting him at this point.
Yeah, he's ranked down there in the 30th quarterback or something like that.
Yeah. And Brett's favorite topic, Gardner Minshew gets traded to the Philadelphia Eagles,
Minshew Mania.
solidifying
the
Trevor
Eagles
Lawrence as the starter on day one, number one.
Well, we already knew that.
Yeah, well, he's going to back up Jalen Hurts. So
He was the starter before he graduated.
Yeah. So the mullet goes to Philly to back up Jalen Hurts. You know, he had some bright spots the last couple of years, but I don't know. It just
understand that he was playing for Jacksonville. Dude.
Yeah.
And although at this point in time, I don't think Philly's that much of a step up.
No, they're not.
Okay. He needs a whole new system to work in because the Jacksonville system, I mean, they tried to get rid of him a couple times. They got Nick Foles. That didn't work out.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? They constantly, he's like that gum on the bottom of your shoe. You just can't get rid of him.
Right.
You know, so finally they got rid of him. They got what, a 6th-round pick or something like that?
Yeah, I think that's what it was, 6th-round pick.
Yeah. So, I mean, do what you do. Get it. He's not going to start, obviously. And why have his salary on your bench?
Right. Right.
He's not going to start unless a catastrophe happens to Hurts. So.
Or even in Jacksonville, he wasn't going to start with Lawrence in the picture.
No.
Oh.
Last thing a team's going to do is bench their number one pick in their first season, unless they're just atrociously bad.
Mm-hmm. I got a quick question. Speaking of Jacksonville, we heard that Etienne is out for the year already.
Yes, that was one of the items on the rundown. Yes,
he hasn't played it down, won't play it down this year. So will he be eligible for Rookie of the Year next year?
No, I don't. Well, no? maybe.
Well, no, you got to play a certain amount of games before you qualify as a rookie.
If he hasn't played a regular season game, why wouldn't he be?
He's going to have he's going to have Liz Frank surgery. That's a painful, god awful, painful injury. You know, when you got tendons or bones in the top of your foot that are broken and tendons that come off from your that area.
What, Liz Frank?
Yes. Oh
yeah, that's kind of like having plantar fasciitis.
Yeah.
Mm. Almost like having.
It's like having a knife stuck in your foot.
Tendon on top of your foot.
Yeah.
It's like having a knife blade broken off in your foot.
Yes, absolutely.
Because that shit hurts.
Yep.
Back in the day, that was a career ender.
Yeah.
Yeah, but surgery nowadays are so much better.
Right.
But just another example why we draft
the week before.
Sunday before the season starts. People, wait until preseason is over.
Right.
Because then all we got to do is hear you whine all year long.
We've got an entire open weekend next weekend to do. So.
That's your own damn fault for drafting in July or drafting right after the Super Bowl.
Again, this is another one that I think Brett posted this, I'm not sure, but good to see that Cliff Branch and Dick Vermeil are finalists for next year's Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Both are very deserving to go in. And I hope they both make it. These guys played back in our era, guys. When we first started loving the game.
Mm-hmm.
And
Cliff Branch catching passes from Kenny Stabler.
Yes.
Okay. Dick Vermeil, one of the greatest.
Back in Philly when they took Philly to the Super Bowl. I mean,
he took Philly to the Super Bowl. He took the Rams to the Super Bowl.
One. And he had a great team in Kansas City when he was in Kansas City.
Yeah. So
the man took a 20-year break from coaching NFL football to be a broadcaster. Yeah. Comes back with the Rams. And I think the second or third year he's there, they win the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Well, that's a special mind when it comes to
this.
You know what I'm saying? He's a lifer in his mind when it comes to football. So
I've actually had the privilege of interviewing him. I was in a press conference with him, and he's a really, really nice guy.
They most of them are. And the ones that you think are nice are the assholes.
Yeah. And my Cliff Branch memories go all the way back to when he was in Colorado because they opened the season against Penn State one year on TV. and I believe he ran the opening kickoff back for a touchdown against Penn State. And they just absolutely, when Penn State was, I think, undefeated, and back when they just come off the Orange Bowl win, I think, and they opened against Colorado in Boulder, and I think he ran the kickoff back. He ran a punt back. Had 2 or 3 long receptions, and they ripped Penn State apart that day. And I thought, man alive, this guy's going to be something else. And sure enough, Oakland got him, and he was magnificent. My only regret is he didn't live to see it. So another example of waiting too late to get these guys into the Hall of Fame. But I'm glad to see he'll have a chance to get in, and I just wish he'd lived long enough to see it.
Yeah. Hang on a second. Give me 1 second. Hold on. Ladies and gentlemen, John G. Olson in his car.
John G. Olson.
In his
But you
car.
have to drive to a spot that has good reception, or
Dude, this is crazy out here, man. Like, you want to see what's going to happen when this world comes to an end? Just come to where there's no internet in an entire city. Like,
The whole city is down?
are they
the
eating
whole
each other
city,
yet?
the whole city's been down all day, and like none of the merchants can accept credit cards or debit cards. The only way you can pay for stuff is cash.
The whole
And, you know,
system's down.
Everything's down, bro. So it's
Can
like,
you use
and
an
then
ATM? Can you use an ATM to get cash?
I haven't even tried. And the cell networks are overloaded because everyone's using their cell. So
Yeah.
like I've had like one bar the entire day. Like it's
Wow.
pretty funny, but it is what it is. So
Jeez.
now I'm like he's knocked out. So.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
Oh man. Are you parked or are you just driving somewhere?
No, I'm parked. The wife's in the store, so I figured
Okay.
I should, yeah.
Jump in real quick. All right,
What's going on?
Scott, 3 stories that I wanted to plug in here. First,
Yeah,
Sony
first,
Michel.
Sony Michel to the Rams. Yeah.
Any opinions on that one?
Well, the Rams needed him because they lost their star running back.
They lost their backfield pretty much. So
yeah,
they needed something.
I mean,
Yeah,
Sony Michel is a great receiving back out of the backfield in space. He's not a workhorse. I mean, he's not a 20 or 30 carry guy. I don't think that he's going to be used that way. I think they're going to split between him and the other back they have on
Darrell Henderson.
I think they'll use Michel out of the backfield, and Stafford loves backs that can catch out of the backfield. He loves those type of backs. And I think
they went after Michel because Henderson sprained his thumb during the season game, and they weren't sure. But it seems like
there's another reason too.
McVay says that he's fine and he'll be ready to go. So
the other reason they got him is because he was at Georgia the same time that Stafford was.
There
Stafford
you go.
Knows how to get the ball to him. So.
That's a good point.
There you go.
You said and you also was CY Hilton is out with
CY Hilton is out at least for the beginning of the season. Although he's not really going too far up in fantasy drafts because of the unknown. What's he going to be like with Carson Wentz at quarterback?
Right.
Nobody knows.
Good point.
He struggled with Phillip Rivers in the beginning, and then he heated up towards the second half of the season.
Yeah, well, his quarterback was Andrew. That was Andrew Luck was his guy.
Andrew Luck.
Yeah,
you get those quarterbacks, like Peyton had
Reggie Wayne and yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So anyway, I mean, Hilton can be big if him and Carson Wentz could get on the same page. So that would be considered a bit of a loss for the Colts.
And Brett posted Evan Ingram was injured after limping off the field today. So he's
isn't he always injured?
Isn't
he always injured? Evan
No, he's one of the healthiest this preseason, but yeah.
I'm talking about in previous seasons.
Well, no,
injured plenty before. So it's not a shocker that Evan Ingram is out due to injury.
I left this out because I didn't know if John was going to be here. But I'm going to ask John about his guy and not Well, the Bills brought back Cole Beasley off the COVID list, so he's back on the roster again. But was it McCourty that got so much heat this week, or was it somebody else that got so much heat this week because he wasn't wearing a mask? He posted
Isaiah McKenzie.
McKenzie. It was McKenzie. He posted the letter he got from the NFL to the web. He posted on his Twitter page. Just NFL just going after him and just criticizing him and just blasting him for not wearing a mask when he was supposed to. Even after he was asked to do so, he still wasn't wearing the mask. And they're going to fine him, I guess, for the $14,000. So
there was somebody that had that issue, but then they went ahead and got their shots. Because
That
they
was
weren't
him.
going to deal with it no more. Huh?
No, that was McKenzie. He went and then got his shot the next day. He's like,
Yeah, there was somebody
I'm not-
else though, other than McKenzie, that did that. Not on the Bills, but on another team.
oh,
Yeah.
as soon as I hear COVID and NFL, I tune it right out and I don't pay attention to it. So don't care. Don't even. It's
It
something
only
we got to
affect,
do.
hey,
No.
it only affects you when it affects you. That's it. Plain and simple.
yep.
Don, tell us about that 19-0 win over the Packers yesterday.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You see that missile, that 31-yard bomb
Yes.
by Josh? Wasn't that
Yes.
sexy time?
Yes.
Yeah, like little fantasy input for you guys. Sleeper pick of the year is going to be Gabe Davis. Just saying.
Gabriel Davis, yeah, I'd agree with that 100%.
Yeah, he put up what he put up like 600 yards in his rookie season. He got 7 touchdowns last year. Like that was the same thing as Jefferson, but Jefferson got all the praise, just because he got traded for basically Stephon Diggs, right? But
Right.
I mean, Gabe Davis is going to have a monster.
He has a potential breakout year coming.
What do you think about Josh only making number 10 on the NFL's 100 list?
Whatever. I mean, he was 87.
NFL 100, that's a lot. You know what? They include defenders in there too.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Aaron Donald was number 2, so yeah. I mean,
So to be number 10 on an overall list,
would you think he would deserve to be higher, or is 10 good for you?
No, 10's fine. 10's fine. I mean, that shows that he's upper echelon, but it doesn't put him as the, Patrick Mahomes, like.
well,
so,
he's on a QB list. He's actually number 2.
He's the second
Right
top,
after.
second best quarterback in the list. Yeah.
Okay.
yeah. No. Brady was up there. Brady was ahead of him.
Number
Brady's in the
7.
top
Brady,
five.
Brady was 7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brady's top.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brady's top 10. There's like 12 quarterbacks that are good, which is kind of great for a 12-team league.
Right.
But once you get past 12, then you're kind of throwing darts at the wall.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And trying to figure out who can do what for you.
Yeah, man.
So,
Good
and
time.
finally, this one's for Scott. What is the beef that Myles Garrett has with the Paul brothers?
With
Have
the
you heard
who
about
brothers?
that? The Paul brothers. Logan and
Oh,
John.
I don't know. You know what? Logan Paul and Jake Paul can go to hell. They're bums. They're not loved by Cleveland at all, although they claim that they're loved by the city of Cleveland, which they are not.
Well, Jake was on WWE the other night, and
good God!
And
And Logan, is Jake Paul's
Logan.
fighting?
It was Logan.
Yeah. Okay. Jake Paul's fighting tonight in Cleveland.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's fighting Tyron Woodley.
Yeah, something like that.
Well, actually, it was last night.
There is a TikToker in Cleveland that goes by Sir Yacht. He's very popular in Cleveland. He put out a TikTok today about how, where is it? God damn it. It's way the hell down.
Language.
Excuse my language, John. I apologize. For John's sake, I apologize. His tweet, he tweets out his TikTok, but he says, Jake Paul fights Tyron Woodley back home in Cleveland tonight and has continued acting like he is from the hood. So this guy, this Sir Yacht, he went to his hometown and interviewed people on the mean streets of Westlake, Ohio. And this whole TikTok was nothing but the residents of Westlake, Ohio, slamming Jake Paul, basically, is all it was. So you know what? Jake Paul can talk all the crap he wants about Myles Garrett and Logan, his brother.
Did you see the comments though?
No, I didn't see the
Okay.
comments.
So basically, Myles Garrett initiated the whole thing by saying he beat the brakes off Logan Paul, but
Which
he
he
has
would.
bigger fish to fry.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Logan in response, or Jake in response, in defense of his brother Logan, says, "Stick to football, my friend. You saw what happened when Nate Robinson from the NBA tried to step into the ring." Which, I mean, Nate Robinson's a lot smaller than Myles Garrett.
I was going to say, Nate Robinson can't compare to Myles Garrett. I mean, have you seen Myles Garrett's training videos? I mean, come on.
Exactly. So you can tell that the IQ in the Paul family is not exactly.
It's not. No, it's not.
upper
It's
level.
not, no,
You know what
it's
I'm
not, it's not really good. No.
But Greg Newsome the third, who was drafted by the Browns in the first round, he did come to Miles's defense, so to speak.
Okay.
While it's great to see that Myles Garrett is already at midseason intensity, it's a waste for it to be targeted at someone as irrelevant to what he does as the Pauls. This close to the season is concerning to see players focused on outside distractions. Hopefully, the bigger fish is in reference to the, NFL season, which is just over 2 weeks away.
Yeah, well, Myles has to worry about Kansas City, which is what he's focused on at this point. So,
well, he needs to worry about that new 17 game NFL schedule.
Yes. What's with the look, John? What's with the look?
I'm just here.
You're being silly. You're just being silly.
Yeah, it's like I don't care about Cleveland, and I don't care.
I know
about
you don't. If it wasn't for your benefit, it was for my benefit. He wasn't bringing it up for your benefit.
Hey, John.
No, we had Buffalo. We had Buffalo talking. It's always about freaking COVID. I mean, I was like, holy crap.
Well, that's because you got a guy on there that's being anti-COVID.
No. Ken did bring up the game yesterday. He did bring up the game.
Thank you, Ken. Appreciate it.
Hey, John, contrary to popular belief, we all have a favorite team on this show.
No,
it's not
just Buffalo.
It's all about Buffalo because
it's all about Buffalo.
I have suffered the most.
See what?
Count them.
What?
Count them.
Oh yeah, you lost 4 Super Bowls, but that's your own doing.
That's
your own doing.
That's suffering. The Browns have not lost 4. Okay.
We haven't been to one. What do you think how suffering is that? 20 years, John.
That's tougher times when you haven't even been to one.
I've suffered the most.
Oh my God.
I don't think so.
Everyone feels.
And besides, your suffering was from decades ago.
Yeah, if you want to talk about suffering, we lost 3 times to John Elway in the NFC.
It just still lingers in Bill's Mafia that you guys
also lost your team to Baltimore too, which was pretty funny.
Okay, come on, right?
Yeah.
Talk about suffering. Art Modell took our team from us. That's how much we've suffered. And then we had the last 20 years. Now you got the
Dallas Cowboys getting stumped by the Jacksonville Jaguars.
There you go.
That's how it works in the NFL, man. Come on.
In fact, Dallas hasn't won a Super Bowl since Jimmy Johnson's team was disbanded. So it's all good.
I don't like this Zoom this way because I can't tell who's talking in Facebook. This sucks.
Yeah.
Like I have no idea of what's.
Well, if there's any comments out there, Scott, share them.
There's no comments yet. Well, Brett, the last comment was Brett saying that Dick Vermeil made Trent Green kind of a decent quarterback.
Brett was usually going to say something like, so and so stubbed their toe and is going to miss the whole season.
Yes,
right?
correct,
That's usually Brett news.
Yes.
Gentlemen, I hate to cut it short, but this is Canada. We don't have unlimited bandwidth, and this is a live stream, so this is probably taking up I don't know, 2/3 of my monthly allocation. Thank you, oh gracious Canadian cell phone providers. So,
blame Canada.
Is it a city? Is it an Edmonton issue, or is it just a provider issue?
No, it's the provider, but it happens. You got to remember, we don't have choices in Canada. We have 1 or 2 for an entire metropolitan area. So it's like 50% of the people here just have no internet.
Wow.
So yeah,
wow.
Yeah, it's insanity. So it's this is just a taste of what's coming. It's just a taste of what's coming.
And it sucks for someone who makes their living online. So it's all even worse.
Oh, I've just been like, what can I do, right? Nothing I can do. So I took the kids out for a walk today. I'm being chauffeur for my wife so she can go shopping.
Right.
Happy wife, happy life.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
But our draft is next Sunday, right?
Next Sunday, yes, sir.
Okay. Because I got another draft on Wednesday, so I gotta manage my drafts. And
Hey,
thank shit, there's no IDPs in this league. It's normal. Gag me with a pitchfork.
All right, though, John. Kickers won today.
Hey, that's the way it goes in plug and play leagues.
Kickers won today, John.
Kickers won. I like plug and play. It keeps the idiots like me competitive.
Exactly. But so does IDP. So does IDP.
I want to play in the leagues where the guys that draft like the defenses in the second round. That's the kind of leagues I want to be in.
Oh, so basically you want to be in a league where your competitors are basically shit.
Stupid or dumber than you, or basically dumber than you are.
Hey,
Yes.
This ain't that league. This ain't that league whether we had DST or not. I'm just saying.
I usually flex my defenses. I usually rotate my defenses on a weekly basis. So hey, Jen's here. I know.
Hi, Jen. Bye, Jen. I have to go because
my main issue with DST is it's the only spot in the lineup that loses points throughout the game. That's my big beef with DST.
Well,
I've seen situations, I've even had it where a DST ended up with negative points at the end of a freaking game.
Right, Jim.
Okay? I've never seen that. It goes to zero. That's it.
It happens.
Zero.
Well, it doesn't happen in plug. I mean, it happens. It happens.
Well,
Defenses, look, you start a defense, let's say, with 15 or 20 points by the end of the game, most of the time. And I had some numbers to back that up because there's a stat called
boringfantasyfootball.com. I think that's the website you're looking for.
The stat is called percentage games, and basically what that stat is the percentage of the last 16 regular season games where the player exceeded their fantasy projection or fantasy point projection. As far as DST goes, for 20 teams in DST, okay, 14 have exceeded the percentage at 50 or more. 14 out of 20. When it comes to DSTs, only 7. Which means that DSTs don't, for the most part, ever live up to their point projection. Why? Because they're constantly losing points. And to me, it's a game that involves your team ending up in the negative. What kind of game is that?
I've never in 15 years of playing fantasy football, I've never had negative points in a DST. It's always gone to zero if they shit the bed. But that's how you set up your league, though, right? It's how the scoring goes.
But negative points tend to fall in once. If you got negative points going all throughout, or you don't have it set to stop at 0, it will flow you into negative points.
I've never played in a league that had negative points.
Yeah, I've seen it many times.
Hey, Clarky.
But then again, I used to play like 20 leagues a year.
Yeah,
I can't do that. I'm psychotic. I can't do 2. I do 2 and I lose my mind. I was supposed to do 3 this year and I couldn't do it.
For 10 years, I did 20 teams a year.
It's just stupid.
No, it's called immersing myself in it so that I know what the fuck I got to do to win.
Yeah, okay. By the way, John, we are broadcasting on Vim finally. It finally made it. I got the.
Oh, hi, Vim. Hi, Hive. We love you.
Yes, Vim.
I miss you, Hive. I can't check anything because of my stupid internet today, but you know.
Yeah, Vim is working, so that's a good thing.
Okay, so the Kickers are. I'm sorry you can't stick around, John. I actually had.
I know it sucks, dude. I wish I
actually had something. I actually had some gifts for you.
Gifts. Like gifts as in prizes, or gifts as in little funny JPEGs that are selling for millions of dollars through cryptocurrency and non-fungible.
No, gifts as informative value items.
Oh.
Watch the replay, John, is what he's saying.
I'll watch the replay. What's our timestamp right now, so I know to fast forward? So
we're at the 39-minute mark.
Yeah,
39 minutes. So 40 minutes in, I'll see the gifts.
Once we start talking fantasy, then I'll explain which those gifts. GIFTS, not GIFs, gifts.
Yes, perfect. Yes, perfect.
Because
if anyone's in the market for a Yoden Zaku card, I have mine up for sale on Splinterlands. $50,000 US will get you the Yoden. So if anybody wants to buy that, $50,000, it's yours. Thank you.
Wow. John, enjoy the rest of your day. Sorry your internet sucks today.
I know it's garbage, but hey, I get to hang out with Sleepy here with his Paw Patrol hat. Oh, he's waking.
Oh,
wait a minute.
He's moving.
Hey, no.
Chris for us.
Oh,
There he is.
yeah. Well, maybe. Hey.
There he is. What's up,
Hey.
buddy? I'm going
Back
back
to sleep.
Not these guys again.
Leave me alone.
All right, guys.
See you, John.
Later.
Peace. So anyway, as I was saying, that to me, that was the impetus behind deciding if I wanted to go after kickers or DST instead.
Right.
When it came to reducing the wide receivers down to 2.
Yeah.
And like I told you earlier, I dove into a bunch of numbers and statistics and stuff like that. And the one that stood out the most was the fact that DSTs just don't live up to their fantasy projections and usually fall far below.
And you know what? I mean, I'm not a big fan of defenses, to be honest, because I mean, they get you single digit points, if anything. You know what I'm saying? They don't make a large impact. I do like the kickers because sometimes the kickers can get you double digits, but it's the excitement that at the end of the game, you need that kicker to make that 45-yard field goal to win the game and to give you that extra 3 points that because you're behind 2 or you're behind 1. You need that kicker to make that kick so you can win your game that week. That's why I like adding kickers into it.
One thing I can say about DST is the equivalent of the tight end spot in fantasy football.
Right.
You have a handful that might be considered worthy and formidable.
Right. Yep.
And then after that, the drop is significant.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'll tell you who the best DST I ever had was. I was when Devin Hester was playing for the Chicago Bears.
Oh, Jesus.
And he was racking up kick returns left and right. And that's the best DST I ever had.
Well, you know what? And Josh Cribbs was the same way with the Browns. Josh Cribbs is also a monster returner.
Yeah, but how many teams have monster returners?
Not many.
Exactly.
Not many.
Exactly. I would have done away with the tight end spot, to be honest with you, before I would have done away with anything else. But tight end is part of the game. And again, to me, fantasy is more like what can individuals do? Because you know what? They do have options to draft teams. You can draft the New England running backs.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But we're playing as individuals. And to me, there's more value in individual defensive players than there is in DST. Because if anything, that keeps people. Because you, Scott, the season we played before, you finished 3rd?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Why? Because
IDP. It was because of IDP.
IDP gives everybody a fighting chance.
Yeah, IDP was the reason why I finished 3rd last year. Yes, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. So to me, I like to go with the stuff that gives people more of a chance to compete. And DST just ain't that one. There's not enough of a point separation between the teams.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's basically what it comes down to. But if anybody has any questions about fantasy, hey, shoot away.
Well, all right. So this concludes the standard football talk of this show.
Hey, you know what? Why don't we just go to baseball?
I was gonna suggest the same thing. Let's go to baseball and we can finish with fantasy football. How's that?
There we go.
All right, let's go to the current standings in the major leagues. And I should have had the page up, but I don't. So give me a second and I'll get there.
I do.
Of course you do. Okay. So in the AL East, the Yankees coming off a 13-game win streak, losing finally to the A's yesterday, puts them still 5.5 games behind the Rays because the Rays are still winning a lot of games themselves. Tampa's leading that division with 82 wins. They got a 5.5 game lead against the with the Yankees and 7.5 up on the Red Sox.
Oh, looks like Boston just lost to Cleveland in the 9th inning.
Oh, yay, go
Yeah.
Indians. In the AL Central, it's the White Sox.
Running
With a
away.
10
Running away.
A 10.5 game lead on the Indians. Maybe now, maybe not so much. Maybe it's 10 games now. And of course, the Astros are leading the West with a 6-game lead over the A's. In the National League, Atlanta is leading the NL East with a 4.5 game lead over the Phillies. Milwaukee is almost running away with the Central with an 8.5 game lead on the Reds.
That's running away.
Yep.
Yeah.
And of course, the San Francisco Giants with the best record in baseball, I think. Yep. Best record in baseball. I have a 2.5 game lead over the Dodgers in the West. As far as the wild card is concerned in the American League, Yankees and Boston are in. Oakland is 3 games out. Seattle is 4.5 games out.
Well, they're updated. Oakland's 3.5 and Seattle's 5 now.
Okay.
Tor-
Well,
Toronto lost again.
I'm on MLB.com. I don't know why you're talking about updating. I thought MLB.com was pretty much.
No, I usually get my stuff from ESPN because they have
Okay.
all the 4 sports and they're pretty much more accurate and
Okay.
timely. So
And in the National League, the Dodgers have an 11.5 game lead on the number 1 wild card spot. Believe it or not, 11.5.
well, let's just say they'll be hosting the playing game.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Reds are in. San Diego is a 1.5 out. St. Louis 3.5 games out.
That's the only hope those teams have now is to freaking overcome Cincinnati for that last wild card spot.
Yes, pretty much.
Because the rest of it is history.
Yes.
San Diego's already fired their pitching coach.
I mean, with all the talent that San Diego had, I mean, did the injuries hurt them this year, Ken, you think? Is
Yep.
that why the Padres?
It definitely
Inju-
hurt them.
Injuries
Yeah,
hurt
big-
everybody.
Yeah. San Diego started off a house of fire.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
they
all of a
did.
sudden
I thought they were contenders until they became pretenders
They
again.
were, but all the injuries they've had have taken them out of the run for the division, and now they're in a battle with Cincinnati for that last playoff spot. That's wild card. So I don't know. Tatis is doing his best to carry the team, but I'm not sure he can do it by himself.
Pretty much, I think the wild card picture. I mean, it's still murky as far as the American League goes.
Because the A's can go on a hot streak and just.
I honestly think right
They
now,
always do.
I think honestly right now, the only 3 teams that are battling for those spots
Two
are
spots.
Boston, the Yankees, and Oakland.
Yeah, I think the A's can go on a run and maybe
They were,
always
and then
do.
and then
They
they
always
ran
do.
into the Yankees, who were on a run.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the A's the ones that stopped our streak yesterday. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, that I mean, come on. Who thought that the streak was going to go on much further? You gotta everything has to fall in place for that to happen. And
yeah, well, the thing of it is,
what was weird is that they hadn't lost since the Field of Dreams game.
right.
Okay, so they could just start a new streak today.
Well, the problem with the Yankees is they went on a 13-game win streak, but they're still behind the Rays.
Well, yeah,
The
because
Rays-
Tampa Bay is
The
playing.
Rays are 9-1 in their last 10, as are the
Well,
Yankees.
they're
9-1
playing
in their last 10.
equivalently as well.
Yes.
That I
Yankees
can
won
tell you.
23 the last 28.
But
Yeah.
we still have if we can get close enough, we still have a 3-game set with Tampa later this year.
The Rays are on a 7-game win streak right now, so
Yeah.
they're just
That just means that after the Yankees dispense of whoever makes it to the playing game in the American League, okay,
they're going to play the Rays in the AL.
they're going to
Division
play the
too.
Rays, and that's a whole different story when it comes to playoff baseball.
Yeah.
You know, that would be probably the equivalent of a World Series type series.
That'd be a great series too, man.
Yeah.
Because you know what, Rays fans hate the Yankees and Yankees hate Rays, so it's it's becoming a rivalry. Believe it or not, it's
Well,
not on the
before
level.
Hey,
It's not on the level of the Red Sox and Yankees, but it's a
where was
rivalry nonetheless.
Where was Florida's loyalty before Tampa came along?
There was none.
It was to the Yankees, dude.
Yes.
Everybody was Yankee fans in Florida.
Yeah. And you know what? To be honest, they still are. Because nobody goes to see the Rays, even though they're playing well.
Exactly.
Nobody ever has.
5,000 in the crowd these days?
Yeah.
In that mausoleum they call a stadium?
That's not a mausoleum. It's a friggin' barn.
That's what it is. It looks like
It's
there
a
should
barn.
be rodeos conducted.
Yeah, it's a barn. It's a barn. Ohtani has joined the 40-20 club.
That guy's a freak, dude.
He is.
I'm convinced that he was built in a Japanese lab or a Chinese lab.
kind of like Drago in Rocky IV.
Yeah.
Born in the lab.
Exactly. That's what I
Very
believe.
cool.
Because you know what? He's got a shot at winning. He's got a shot at winning Cy Young
And MVP.
and MVP.
And MVP
Ooh.
for two different
I mean,
reasons.
I'd give him both just for the sake of saying it happened.
Yeah, right.
Okay, because they ain't never ever been anybody at this. Not even Babe Ruth was at this level
No.
when it came to splitting. You know what I'm saying?
He after he was traded from the Red Sox, he stopped pitching. Then he just went to the Yankees as a hitter, right?
Right.
Yeah. Well, that's because the Yankees saw something.
He never pitched an inning for the Yankees.
No.
But that's because the Yankees saw that this guy was much more valuable every day than he was every other 5 days. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yep.
but now the Angels seem to have found that all in one package.
Ohtani has 40 home runs, 20 stolen bases, and incredible amount of strikeouts as a pitcher.
Right.
It's unreal.
How many wins does he have? Do you know?
Oh man.
Oh, he's one of the league leaders, dude, in pitching.
Yeah, he's got what? Has he got 15 now?
Hang
I'm
on.
not sure. I have to look
14, 15. I'm not sure, but
Are you looking for that, Scott?
Yeah, I'm looking at it now, yes.
10. Yeah. He's well over 10.
He's 8-1 this year as a pitcher.
Well, there you go. 8-1. Come on,
Yeah,
man.
with a 3.8. He's got a 3.0 ERA.
In which in the American League is fantastic because of the DH.
Right. He's got 127 strikeouts.
In how many innings?
105.
Wow.
Anytime you strike out more than the innings pitched, you're bringing
That's
it.
amazing.
Yes.
You're bringing it. Yep.
Yes.
So yeah, this is a two-way player that you've probably not seen to this level and will never see again.
I mean, he's only given up 11 home runs all season.
That's like one every 10 innings or so.
Yeah, pretty much.
The last field player we saw pitch like that as a starter was Rick Ankiel. That's been
Rick Ankiel, yeah, but didn't he kind of like suck at one of them after he?
No, he was a decent pitcher, and then once he
was he at
arm
Ohtani's
thing,
level? Hell no.
No,
Nobody.
Nobody's been at his level.
Well, I mean, when you can even say Babe Ruth is not at Ohtani's level.
How the hell did we not know about this guy before? I mean, is Japanese league just keeping him secret?
Well, I'm just
What
mad because he turned down the Yankees to go to the Angels.
Yeah.
Oh, he's hitting 264. He's got 41 home runs.
How many RBIs?
RBIs. He's got 89 RBIs.
Oh shit, that's one of the league leaders right there.
Yeah. It just his OPS is 986 for God's sake.
He was built in a lab, probably the same lab that had the fucking Wuhan virus.
It's just, I mean, the dude is just, he's got 4 home runs in the last 30 games, which it's not a high number, but still, I mean, he's still got 41. I mean, good grief.
Otanzilla.
Right? Right?
Beast.
Unreal.
He's a beast.
Unreal.
So it's just, he is a phenom. And yes, I agree with you, Elliot. He's in the running for both MVP and Cy Young all in one. I really do.
And like I said, just out of default, I'd give him both if he continues this pace.
Right.
Just to say, hey, the first time anybody's ever done it, you deserve both.
Yep.
And I mean, not just done it, but done it.
Why the Angels aren't more of a contender?
That's because
their lineup sucks, Ken. I mean, they really
That's
does.
true.
Right? I mean, there's only really two good players on that whole team.
Have to agree.
So,
Speaking of baseball,
yes.
I'd like to congratulate the Taylor, Michigan Little Leaguers for winning the
They beat the
series.
Ohio. Didn't they play against an Ohio team today?
Beat an Ohio team. They did something that Jim Harbaugh has never been able to do.
Finally Michigan beats Ohio, but it wasn't what we wanted, right?
Well, I'll take whatever I can get, right?
And college football did start yesterday. Week 0 was yesterday.
Yes, it
Nebraska showed exactly how bad they are. God.
Nebraska may be going on probation.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. That coach was supposed to be their savior because he was a former quarterback for Nebraska. He had success at UCF. Yep. Brett brings up a good topic. Francisco Lindor made a statement today or this week about how since they're getting booed when they don't produce, when they do produce, the players are going to boo the fans.
What kind of crack is Lindor smoking?
Tit for tat.
Yes.
Well, that ought to drive the fan base into a popular fucking direction. Hello.
I mean, I'm looking at the Mets. Hang on a second. Let me go back.
Look, you guys know what the acronym Mets stands for, right?
Metropolitans.
No. My entire team sucks.
Entire team sucks.
METS. Mets.
It's like the Jets just in the season.
Just end the season. Yep.
The Mets are in third place in the division. They're 7.5 games out. The wild card.
They were like 5 games up like a month ago.
Yep. And they're 7 games out of the wild card right now.
Look,
The
Mets are being the Mets. Okay.
They are.
That's all there is to it.
The Mets are the Jets of baseball.
Well, like I told Brett earlier, I said, that's what that's what you sign up for when you're a fan of the Fools from Flushing.
Here's the story that Brett's talking about. For 5 months, the Mets have scuffled and underachieved, mostly recently dropping 12.5 games out of the standings during the first 27 days of August.
Yep.
Through it all, fans at Citi Field have increasingly expressed their displeasure, booing nearly every prominent player on the roster. Earlier this homestand, the home crowd showered manager Luis Rojas with "Fire Rojas" chants during a particularly rough loss. So when the Mets enjoyed a rare 9-4 victory over the Nationals on Sunday, winning consecutive games for the first time in more than 2 weeks, their players clapped back at those in the stands. After giving the Mets the lead for good with a no doubt 2-run homer in the fourth, second baseman Javier Baez flashed a thumbs down sign as he crossed home plate. Francisco Lindor did the same after driving home a pair with an 8-inning double, as did Kevin Pillar following his 6-inning single. So they're giving their fans a thumbs down as they come across home plate after a success.
And how positive a reaction are the fans having to that? See, that's just it. You take a dynamic like that, and
that's kind of juvenile, isn't it?
It's totally juvenile.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? But this is why the Mets are historically bad. Okay, because they just don't. They try so hard to live up to the Yankee folklore. Okay, that they just don't realize they don't have that kind of fucking cachet, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? They made a splash in the offseason. They started out well.
And their ownership seems like they want to win. So, I mean, they're,
Yeah, did you see how the owner called out the entire fucking team on social media?
No, I didn't.
He fucking tore into their asses, dude. Okay? Why? Because he, like many others, are just tired of the culture that just doesn't seem to be, that they're not able to get rid of when it comes to the New York Mets.
Right.
I mean, think about it. Were it not for Bill Buckner with the Mets, where would the Mets be in World Series?
That's true.
Nowhere. Besides the 69 one.
You had to bring up Bill Buckner with Ken on the
I'm
panel.
sorry, I didn't put two and two together, but
I totally agree with you. I mean, if he feels the ball and puts that foot on the plate, I'm on the bag.
on the bag, and you know what? The whole Mets
we don't
thing
ever hear
just
about the
continued.
Mets again.
Yeah. Until they got beat in 2000 by the Yankees.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't spill any tears for the Mets because they've always been the Jets of baseball.
Yes, they have. You're right.
Okay.
Yep.
Which is ironic because their fucking names rhyme.
Yep. I'm going to hand over the helm now because we already mentioned the Yankees 13-game win streak. So we're done with that. I'm going to hand over the helm to Elliot. He's going to start talking fantasy football for the last 30 minutes of the show. I need to step away for a second because I need a restroom break. Sorry, guys. But go ahead, Elliot. I'm
gonna wait till you get it. I want to focus a little bit more on this 13-game win streak.
Go right ahead. You and Ken can talk Yankees and
yeah. I mean, Ken, you know I've had like a major opinion when it comes to Aaron Boone.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, as far as his skills as a manager is concerned. Does this 13-game winning streak kind of put a damper on my feelings? Or is Aaron Boone still a liability down the road for the Yankees as a manager?
The more they win, and
the less case you have for getting rid of him. Yeah.
Exactly. They'll never be able to get rid of him if they make the playoffs. He's safe.
Oh, he's solid.
Yeah, he's solid. He's gone. He's in. So.
Well, what had me curious was that Cashman, you know how they say when owners and GMs and stuff say your job is safe, and then a week later you're gone?
Yep. That's a kiss of dub.
Well, that's what they said about it.
What is it called? The vote of confidence. The vote of confidence. Yeah.
I think one more thing he did the other day, which really showed that he might be all in finally, is when he got himself thrown out early in the game against Oakland.
Yeah.
Because that sparked the Yankees to 4 gargantuan home runs. I think they combined for 1,700 plus feet in home runs, in 4 home runs.
Yeah.
I mean, they were monster shots.
Giancarlo Stanton is on fire right now.
477 feet. It went into the third deck of the outfield at the Coliseum.
He has hit 13 home runs this year that were 470 feet plus.
When he's locked in, and you know what? I think he got locked in the minute they started having him play the field. The minute he was playing the field again, because he did that in Miami. He played the field.
He played in the outfield, yep.
When you're a hitter and you're not doing well and you got to sit and wait for your next at bat, that doesn't do anything for your confidence.
Nope.
You know? So putting him back on the field, I think, actually was a move that saved Aaron Boone's job.
That and the fact that when they picked up Joey Gallo too, because
Joey Gallo and Rizzo.
Man, Rizzo, yeah. When they got those two, then he goes, I guess I better get my butt in gear then. And he's been the Giancarlo Stanton that they wanted and thought they were going to be getting 2 years ago when they acquired him. So.
But they never let him play the field.
No.
You see, and I think that was disjointed about his Yankee tenure, is that he never played the field the way he did in Miami when he hit all those home runs there.
Right.
Now that he's back on the field, he's tearing the cover off the baseball.
I tell you what, when he was in Miami and Miami hosted the All-Star game, they had the roof open during the home run derby. I mean, the roof closed during the home run derby because it was raining and lightning. He hit one that I swear, if that roof had been open, that ball would have landed in Bimini. I mean, it was still going. I mean, it hit the top of the roof, I think, and he's just incredibly strong.
So you changing your mind on Aaron Boone, or are you still keeping the same opinion that he needs to be fired?
Well, Ken made an interesting point. Okay, and that is that as long as the Yankees keep winning, it makes it less and less likely that Aaron Boone's going anywhere.
Right.
And unlike most cases, Brian Cashman came out the other day and gave his vote of confidence.
Of course he did. Well, Cashman's on the hot seat too.
But wait a second. That vote of confidence doesn't always work that way.
No, because Cashman's on the hot seat too, man.
The vote of confidence usually means that you're gone within a week. You know? His job is safe. His job is safe. Oh, by the way, this guy got fired.
Yeah. Well, back in Georgia's day, that might be the way, but I don't know about now. But yeah, you're right.
But just some moves that he made. Look, if having to be force-fed Aaron Boone means that we are still winning, then I guess I can
live with it.
I guess I can pinch my nose and close my eyes.
Tap the brakes.
Great. Well, anyway, the Sports Nerds Fantasy Football League begins next week with the draft.
Next Sunday.
Next Sunday night, 7 p.m., 7:30, the draft starts. We'll talk football from 7 to 7:30 or so.
Well, actually, we're going to talk from 7 to 7:15.
Get everybody up on. We're going to have all the players on camera, probably except for Maddie and
as many as can join.
Yes, as many as will want to join.
As many that can join.
Right.
And you'll have several boxes up there for members of the league.
Yep.
We've found that doing this, I've done this for many years now, since social media and the whole streaming thing became available.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I kind of like the fact that everybody's in the room and everybody can speak onto what they're doing. When you play in leagues where you're just drafting against people you don't know, what's the fun in that?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? When I commission leagues, I try to bring as much fun to it as possible by providing the most scenarios for scoring as possible. Because isn't fantasy about scoring?
Yeah. Disclaimer: the Browns game is about to start, so I'll be looking back and forth this way for the next 30 minutes. Just to let you know.
Okay, the Patriots.
The Browns are playing the Falcons on NBC, so I'm going back. I've got it on Peacock. I'm going back and forth. Just want to let you know. Okay, just keep that.
Can't put it up on one of your screens. Come on, man. That's what I do. I put the game up on the left screen.
Well, I don't. I mean, I could. I'm monitoring. Periscope, Twitch.
Oh, okay. So
on my other screen, so that's why I've got it up on the big screen. So
Who are they starting at quarterback tonight?
Baker is playing tonight.
Baker's playing tonight?
They are playing their starters tonight. I don't know how long, but they're playing their starters tonight.
Probably for a half, and then
I would think for a couple of series. After what happened to JK Dobbins, I don't want them playing very long at all, just to be honest. Okay. I really don't. I mean, I don't know why.
We got through 4 preseason games, and Dak Prescott did not take a snap in any of them.
Yeah, I mean, and they didn't have a preseason last year at all. Browns lost their first game to the Ravens and then went 12-5 the rest of the year. So I really don't care if they play in the preseason or not. It really doesn't bother me.
Besides, I would put a crimp in your draft every Cleveland Brown on the board strategy.
Shut up, Elliot. You're playing Hunt. Andy,
don't get mad. Don't get mad because I'm right.
All right. Doesn't look like OBJ or Landry are playing. It's going to be Hodge in there. So, but they are playing Kareem Hunt. So, yeah. Baker's in there now starting. God, please, Baker, don't get hurt. Please don't get hurt. God. Anyway.
Well, Dobbins got hurt because he got hit square on the knee, right?
Yeah.
That happens, dude. Like I said, this is why I think preseason football is a farce. Okay, because they don't play.
All right, Kareem, you had your one carry. Get out of there. Get out of there.
Huh?
Part of the reason I was going back to 2 games.
Kareem had a carry. Get out. Oh, and of course they get a hold of it. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Well, here we go.
Oh, God. All right. Elliot, take over the show with your fantasy stuff. I'll be quiet for a while.
All right. So basically, again, I mean, the league is set up. I went and made the changes. We got 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers at the urgence of several people. And then I added a kicker, which we haven't played with in a couple of years. Okay. And I explained to you guys earlier what my rationale was behind going with the kicker instead of DST, which, like I told Scott earlier in a message we exchanged, is that it should be banned from fantasy forever. DSTs should not be allowed to be on fantasy.
I'll be right back.
Here's the thing, I put a lot of emphasis on the fact that this is fantasy football, not reality football.
Right.
Fantasy. So in a fantasy, I wouldn't want a team playing for me. I want some guys that can bring it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm going to set up scoring systems that are far from the norm. Anybody, you know what? This is why normal leagues, okay, like the one John loves to thrive in because he's looking for the weakest competition.
Right.
Okay. People that are going to freaking trade their first 3 picks for nothing, things like that. So, but when it comes to IDP, you really got to put you got to put yourself into it.
It causes you to think. It causes you to use your brain. Yeah, I understand that.
Plug and play is fine.
Yeah,
for
I understand the logic behind it, Elliot, because
Yeah.
it makes you actually think and get involved and actually take time to plan out your roster and try to get it set the way you want it to be.
Which is why, okay, so I added the kickers.
Because if you go plug and play, you can put it in. You can set it week 1 and leave it alone until the first bye week. Basically.
Yeah, you don't ever have to go in there and the thing is that, again, once you have a team that shows that their defense sucks, what are you supposed to replace them with? Another team that sucks?
Yeah.
I mean, you got so many defensive players, dude. So many defensive players.
Well, and also because it's an offense-driven league. So if you use team defenses, it's a chance they're going to get burned. Most defenses are going to get...
It's a point-driven game.
Yeah.
Fantasy to me is a point-driven game.
Right. And defenses are going to get burned and they're going to get lots of points scored against them. Doesn't matter how high your defense ranks. And because the NFL is now, because compared to what it was 20 years ago, is now an offensive driven league because all the rules and all the, everything is geared towards the offense having favorability over defenses. It goes back to defensive pass interference, defensive holding,
but here's
all
the
kinds
thing.
of shit. Yes.
Individual defensive players could put up the same numbers as your star offensive players.
Absolutely. As well as, and your team and your individual defensive players can put up more points than a team defense can.
One of them could put up more more points than a team defense can.
Right. And I understand. So yes, I understand the logic behind it. So, but yeah, I mean.
No, I get it. Look, if you are a true fantasy, I'm not going to say guru because I hate that fucking word.
Despite the fact that you are one.
Okay. This is what makes you a player in fantasy. It's someone who can take the situation and make it work for them.
Right.
Success in fantasy comes from knowing your scoring system.
Yeah.
First and foremost. Because if you don't draft according to your scoring system, then you're basically done. Why? Because you got to pay more attention now in the draft. I'm not trying to draft a group of freaking running backs from one team, just like I'm not trying to draft a group of players. Can you imagine if the DST loses you a game over a guy they wouldn't rate as an individual defensive player?
Right.
That's what it comes down to.
Right.
You could have a fucking scrub cost you a game.
Yeah.
That wouldn't even qualify to be an IDP. And I'm sorry, but that's just too much. That's just too much for me to deal with.
Right.
And I would think that true fantasy truists, okay, the people that get into it day and night when the season is approaching, like myself. Like I said, 20 teams a year for like 10 years.
You're stupid.
I'm not surprised.
Sorry,
I'm not
that's just stupid, Elliot. It
I'm
really
not
is.
surprised that the other guys haven't seen DSTs finish with a negative.
Well, you know what? And that's probably why you're so good now, because you did do that 20 team per year for so long.
And again, it was just one of those things where.
Now, is this the only league you're participating in this year? Is just ours?
No, I've joined one other league. I might join a couple more on the NFL managed, the plug and play leagues.
Right.
just to fortify my belief that DSTs are terrible. But anyway, with the draft coming up, there's going to be a lot of question marks as far as who do you draft? What position are you in? Where'd you pick? Scott 5, I think.
Yes. I didn't trade my draft pick. I kept it where it was.
Okay. And you made a comment last week. Of course he's picking in the top 3.
Who,
and I finished with the number 2 pick.
Yeah, well,
Yeah. So here I am to have you insert foot in your mouth. I dropped down to 9.
Did you really?
Yeah. I traded with Jamal.
Okay.
He's the second pick now. Now I did that as far as strategy goes because I know Jamal's going to draft Patrick Mahomes, so that's going to leave a few.
Well, that'll piss Brett off.
He did it last year. He drafted Patrick Mahomes with his first pick.
See, that's just it. You know what? You and I both know quarterbacks don't drive fantasy. It's the running backs and the wide receivers that drive.
Now that's not always true, especially in a league when you have a super flex.
That's true.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because you can ask fantasy gurus and they will tell you that in a fantasy league with super flex, you should have 2 quarterbacks drafted by the 6th round.
Well, you know what? And I usually don't draft a quarterback until probably the 3rd or 4th round at the earliest. Maybe
I don't either. I don't give a shit how much of a star he is.
I want my wide receivers and running back in the first couple of rounds just to make sure I'm.
Always go with running backs if you can, because the drop off from running backs as opposed to the drop off from wide receivers is substantial.
Right.
Okay. Mid-round wide receivers, you'll still get some good talent.
Oh yeah, you'll still get some good workers that can get you some good points. Not
mid-round running back.
You know what? They don't have to be wide receiver 1. The wide receiver 2s can get it too. I mean, and slot receivers like Cole Beasley will get you a lot of points as well. So,
it's like I'm staying away from any San Francisco running back this season.
Yeah, that's smart, Elliot.
They've got 4 of them.
Yeah.
They got Mostert. They got Wayne Gallman from the Giants.
Yeah.
They got Trey Sermon in the draft.
Yeah.
And there's one more. I just can't think of who it is. But that's going to be an RBBC, running back by committee.
Yeah.
And Mostert ain't going to get the points that he would have gotten had they not gotten those 2 guys.
Right. Whereas, I'm looking at Nick Chubb.
At five, realistically,
that's a good pick.
Unless one of the other guys decides that they want to pull a fast one on you,
right?
Then Nick Chubb will be available for you at 5.
Yeah, and it doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to take him, but I have to look at that because despite the fact he's going to split and carries, he's the number 1 back on that Browns team.
Absolutely. And besides, Kareem Hunt is more of a reception back than he is the running back.
Yes.
Okay. And just to show you, see, I'm the kind of person that even though I'm playing in this league, I'm going to put advice out there for people.
You always do. You always do.
Because it just puts me in a position that says, well, if I give you this advice and you still don't do well, then it's a you thing, not a me thing.
Especially if the advice you give it comes out to be the correct advice.
Exactly, which most of the time it is. But as far as Chubb goes, overall, and again, you're talking about a pretty heavy stack situation. Overall, he's ranked at 10.
Well, and again, if there's a back that I think is better than better option, I'm going to go with him. And I'm not going all in on Nick Chubb.
Okay, so here you got pick number 1. McCaffrey, most likely, right?
I would think Derrick Henry would be the first one.
I think people are going to go with McCaffrey no matter what. Dude.
Really?
Yeah. They're going to write off last season as a fluke.
Okay.
Okay. The only one I think that could be drafted ahead of him would be like Derrick Henry or Dalvin Cook.
Dalvin Cook is another one, yes.
Okay. Kamara, now that Jameis Winston is the quarterback, I think Kamara will do better than he would if he was Taysom Hill. The only problem with Kamara is that if you draft him, you got to hope that Jameis Winston plays the whole season.
Yeah.
And doesn't tank by to
be honest, I'm curious and really my eye is on Jameis this season. The reason why is because he's had LASIK surgery. He's had a problem with his eyes his entire career. And I'm really, really interested to see if the eye surgery is going to correct his vision to the point where it's going to make him a better quarterback because he'll be able to see what he's doing.
Yeah.
Because I tend to think in the back of my head that the fact that he had to squint every time he threw the football was the reason why he was throwing so many picks. Yeah. So I'm really curious to see what happens under Sean Payton.
I think he could be a sleeper super flex.
Especially under Sean Payton. The way Payton developed Drew Brees.
He's a quarterback coach. He's a quarterback coach.
He is.
Plain and simple. Now, just to give you an understanding, and again, I'm not one to keep good news from people. Strength of schedule. Okay, this is a statistic that is used to gauge what a player is going to go through in the upcoming season. Okay. Strength of schedule is the average difficulty of a player's opponents this season. Each opponent is rated based on their past performance against similar players. Okay, so for example, the strength of schedule usually runs anywhere from 1 point, which is the worst, all the way up to 10, which is the best, of course. And usually you want to look at somebody in the range of about 4 to 5. Okay. Well, it just so happens that for you, Scott, Nick Chubb has the easiest strength of schedule of all the first rounders and second rounders, which means that he's got a weak schedule.
Well, we got a third place schedule, despite the fact that we went 11-5 last year, we still had a third place schedule, which makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. His rating is at a 9.0. And for visual purposes, there's a little flame next to him, which means he's on fire.
On fire.
Okay. He'll be on fire playing against the teams he's playing against. Now, just to give you a flip side on that, Christian McCaffrey, the number 1 pick, his strength of schedule is a 1.2.
Well, he plays the Bucks and he plays the Saints twice. So I mean, the Carolina has a third place schedule as well, but they play in a tough division, so that's understandable as well.
The other ones that are, I would say, prime for good performances are guys like Travis Kelce, Austin Eckler, Jonathan Taylor, Stephon Diggs, and Derrick Henry and Dalvin Cook. Oh, throw Devontae Adams in there too. What's surprising to me.
Speaking of Travis Kelce, check out the photo I just posted in the room when you get a chance.
In the room?
Yeah.
Facebook or group?
Our group, yeah.
What's surprising to me is
Facebook group.
The third back with the easiest schedule going into this season is Najee Harris. He's playing against the third easiest schedule for running backs this season. So he's an interesting pick. I got a feeling he might go to Steve, who's a Steelers fan. I think Steve might take him with the 10th pick.
Steelers, Steve. Jesus, Mike.
Either the 10th pick in the first round or the 13th pick in the second round. I think that's the way Steve's going to go. I don't know what Brett's doing. Who knows what Brett's doing? Brett might not even know what
I was going to say, Brett doesn't even know what the hell he's doing, but that's all right.
But hey, you know what? Brett's the man. He hangs in there.
He is the defending champion from last season.
You can't take that from him.
That's right.
Not at all. So anyway, running backs, again, the ones that exceeded their percentage of games exceeding their projected points, Cook, Kamara, Derrick Henry. This is 50% or more.
That's great.
57%. Saquon, he doesn't have anything there because he didn't play.
Saquon's coming off an injury, so he's kind of,
he's been dropping into the second round.
Yeah, I mean, that ACL.
He used to be a top 3 pick.
Yeah.
Now he's second round, mid to late on some boards. I won't touch him. I won't touch him at all. But anyway, let me go ahead and give you some quarterback ratings. I'm going to go through the top 12 since there are 12 teams in this league.
Okay.
All right. So, number 1, of course, Patrick Mahomes, although his percentage was under 50 for games in his last 16 games for meeting his fantasy projection. Less than 50% for Patrick Mahomes. The next 4 quarterbacks were all 60% or better. Josh Allen, Kyler Murray, Lamar Jackson, and Dak Prescott. Yep. Even though he only had 5 games, right. He exceeded his in 3 of them. Okay. And then Aaron Rodgers.
Lamar's rating is mostly because of his running, not his passing. Is that right?
Lamar Jackson?
Yeah.
No, it's pretty much overall. It's just points. The amount of points he scores in the game that he exceeds the projection. So if he's projected to score 15 and he scores 16, then that's a percentage game that worked in his favor.
Okay.
I think Prescott, I think Dak had a 400-yard game before he got hurt.
Yeah.
One of the weeks
he
before.
had 3 out of 5. 3 out of the 5 games he played, and I'm pretty sure the 5th one was
one of the big games he had was against the Browns, and they still lost. But that's okay. We're just talking talk.
Yeah, and the best one by far, is Aaron Rodgers. He exceeded his projected totals every game.
Aaron Rodgers,
13 out of 16 games.
Aaron Rodgers is always a great fantasy pick. The man is going to give you points, flat out. Now he's got the gang back together in Green Bay, Devontae Adams and
for how long that may be.
So,
all right. So after that, after you go through Allen, Murray, Jackson, and Prescott, you're looking at Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, who, by the way, a lot of people are claiming that 7 is a little too low because he's Aaron Rodgers.
Right.
Justin Herbert comes in at 8. Brady,
I'm curious to see how he does this year. That's going to be because year 2 is going to be fun for him, I think.
Brady comes in at 9. Tannehill 10, Hurts 11, and Stafford at 12.
Brady has never been a great fantasy quarterback. He never has.
No, but a lot of people are changing their opinion this year because they don't think the running game is going to be as potent.
Because the weapons he has in
because of the weapons he has, and I think they're not going to run as much. I mean, I'm still not sold on Leonard Fournette.
I don't know. They got 2 stud running backs. Why wouldn't they run the ball? I mean, come on.
I'm not sold on Leonard Fournette and Rojo again. It's kind of like being a running back for the Chiefs.
True.
Most of the shit is going to go to Patrick Mahomes. Okay, and that's going to devaluate other members of the team in fantasy.
Right.
Okay, so these are the things you got to look for.
What kind of fantasy numbers did Tyreek Hill have last
year? Yes! Bam! Baker to Hodge. I love it. Sorry.
Scott.
Yes.
It's preseason.
I know. I don't care.
You can stay in the closet until a week from Thursday. Now, what was you saying? Tyreek Hill?
Tyreek Hill, what kind of fantasy numbers did he have last year?
As far as his statistics go?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, he is ranked the second. Let me see if I can find stats on him. Okay, so he actually had 12.9 rushing attempts per game. Oh, no,
Mhm.
12.9. 82 yards rushing.
They ran those reverses.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. These are projections. I'm sorry. Stats for last season. This isn't giving me stats. It's giving me all the fantasy stuff. Hang on.
Well, he still had quite a few rushing yards because like I said, they ran those reverses to him because they knew.
All right, here we go. Tyree. Here we go. All right, so see, this is not giving me a total either. Hey, Scott, you want to find one while you ogling over the fucking Browns?
Hang on 1 second.
Find me some Tyreek Hill stats, man.
Give me a second.
At any rate, if his projected numbers are any, wait a minute, stats. Here we go, stats. Hang on. All right, 2020 receiving stats. He played 15 games, had 87 receptions with 135 targets.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. He went for 1,276 yards, which is 14.7 yards per reception for all his yards. His long was 75, probably against Tampa, that one game.
Hang on 1 second. Where the heck is it?
And he had 15 touchdowns. That's Tyreek Hill.
Yep.
And it wouldn't surprise you that he's ranked number 2 behind who? Davante Adams.
Wow.
Yep.
Mm.
So at number 2, you can count on Tyreek being gone early second round.
Yeah.
Unless you got a Kansas City fan, Brett, that jumps out and grabs him in the first round.
Well, I mean, I'm looking at Tyreek's rushing attempts last year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the most attempts he had in one game was against the Raiders in a loss. He had 3 attempts for 15.
I think he had 12 attempts total.
3, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I've got 13 on this list here.
13? Okay.
Yeah. And he had less. 3, 6, let's see, 32, 62, 63, 71, 80.
So while he's looking for that, standard scoring for PPR.
He had less than 150 yards rushing last year.
So in a PPR league, Davante Adams ranks first over Tyreek Hill, whereas in a standard league, it's flip-flop. Hill before Davante Adams. Then the rest of them, I know we're out of time. Let me just finish
All right, my friend, take time.
Let me finish these really quick. By the way, the gifts I had for John, and I'll be glad to go ahead and send them those, is a list of the top 15 IDP players at every position. That way he ain't got no reason to complain and he doesn't know what the fuck's going on with IDP. Okay.
Send it to him in an email.
That's my contribution to John's inability to adapt to IDP. Just play the game.
Yeah.
What do you do when you put play? Look, most people that play fantasy well are people that put effort behind their playing.
Right.
You don't
And
just
research.
one thing that tells me that John doesn't do research when it comes to fantasy football is that he can't even read the show rundown every week.
Come on now, leave John alone.
No, I'm not picking on John. I'm just saying his style of playing is much different than mine and other people. Some people can't stand plug and play. I'm one of those people. Some people rely on plug and play, and John admitted himself tonight that he likes those leagues where he can find guys and steal their freaking players.
Right.
To me, that's not being fantasy successful. How should I say?
Well, you know what? If he wins the league, you can eat your words.
If he wins the league, it'll be because of his IDPs.
Yes.
And then what's he gonna say? What leg is he gonna have to stand on to complain about IDP? I hope he wins the league because of IDPs. I really do. Because that would be ironic, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
The guy that hates IDPs wins the championship because of it. Look, I know for a fact after chatting with, because I do this quite a bit, chatting with everybody in the league. Okay. I know that some of them prefer DST, but
I gotta run, guys.
pretty much,
I'll talk to you guys later. I gotta run.
Okay.
Okay, Ken. Yeah, we're gonna finish up here in just a minute.
Okay. So anyway, that's what I got. I'm gonna go ahead and send John those IDP lists so he can contemplate what he's gonna do for his drafting. Although, I mean, you can go to any freaking site and do mock drafts, and it'll show you IDPs. Do IDP mock drafts,
Right.
and it'll show you, who the players are that stand out and who doesn't.
Yeah.
It's no different than finding your offensive players just on defense. I mean, come on, Myles Garrett is the equivalent on defense to any quarterback after the top 5 in fantasy football. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yep.
He has that kind of impact. So
Yep.
Anyway, enough from me. I know we got to go. So
Yep.
We shall see you guys next Sunday. Have your draft caps on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. And we will see you then.
All right. Thank you for those 3 or 4 people that showed up tonight. I appreciate it.
Watch the replay.
Watch the replay. I'll be posting this to our podcast site as well, on Spotify and wherever you get your podcast. It's not on Apple iTunes yet. And maybe because I don't have an account with them, that might be a reason why it's not showing up on Apple, but that's all right. It's on most other podcasts. We'll be back again next Sunday for the Sports Nerds live draft show.
Special.
Hopefully it won't run past too long after 8:30. I don't think it will. We went like an hour, maybe a little over an hour after.
The only difference this year is we've got 12 people instead of 10. So it might
still probably be maybe an hour and 15-minute draft. I think maybe an hour and a half.
But we'll be done no later than 9 o'clock. Period.
Yeah, that's fine. So we'll be on right next week. Thanks again, everybody. On behalf of my co-host, John G. Olson, Ken Koslow, and of course, Elliot Lamba, our fantasy guru. I know he hates that when I say that. I am the sports nerd, Scott Wright. You'll have a great week. Elliot, play the outro, please. Sometime.
Well, there you have it, Nerd Nation. Another Sunday episode of the Sport Nerd Show in the books, and we're actually still live to tell about it. Now, on behalf of our hosts, Scott, the Sports Nerd, right? John, Bob, and Ken, the 3 other lovable members of the Ramp Pack, and yes, me, Big E. The entire pack would once again like to thank you all for participating with us in the best 90 minutes of sports smack talk on the web today. So until next Sunday night, dear nation, we want to leave you with a quick PSA. Please stay safe. Please practice social distancing. And for fuck's sake, please wear a fucking mask. You just got hit with a pack rant from the Rant Pack. And with that, fellas, we are out.